You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there.
Hi guys, today we are going to do a video for Algebra 1 students on the, if you can read this, systems of equations, and they are going to focus on the substitution method. Ashley and Christine will be showing you how to do this. So, hi guys, so we're going to be doing the substitution method of systems of equations, and a system is when they give you two equations and you have to solve for both variables. I like to think of it as 3 steps. The first step is to isolate the variables of one of the problems. I like to go with x. I like to isolate x first. So I'm going to pick this equation to start with because I think it looks a little bit simpler. That's kind of just a matter of preference. So I'm going to isolate x in this equation. So I'm going to rewrite the equation over here. Okay, now to isolate x, we're going to subtract 2y from both sides. So you're going to get 2x equals 10 minus 2y. And then, sorry, ignore the phone. So then you're going to divide by 2. And over here, the 2 is going to cancel because 2 divided by 2 is 1. On the other side, you have to make sure you divide both terms by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. The subtraction sign keeps, and then the 2's over here cancel. So that would be x equals 5 minus 2. Now, or sorry, 5 minus y. So what happens is now that you have the x in terms of y, that's how we like to say it, you can plug this directly into the second equation. You always want to make sure that when you plug this in, it's the other equation, not the one you started with. If you plug it back into the one you started with, it's not going to get you anywhere. So if you plug this into this equation, which I'm going to do, you're going to get 2, and then for x, we're going to have 5 minus y plus 4y equals 16. You might need to move this up a little bit. Sorry, we're adjusting the board. Okay, so then what that does when you substitute in the 5 minus y is it gets rid of all of the x terms. So now that x is gone, you will be able to solve for y. So what you're going to do is when you factor this, or not factor, what is that called? Foil? Foil. It's called foiling. You multiply 2 times the 5, and you have to multiply... Distributing?
It's distributing the 2.
I'm sorry, that's distributing the 2. I'm a little bit messed up today. So, 2 times 5 is 10, and then minus 2y plus 4y equals 16. Then we're going to add the like terms together, which because the signs are opposite, you're actually subtracting. So you're going to get 2 plus 2y equals 16. Okay, and then you subtract the 10, so you're going to get 2y equals 6. And then y is going to equal, after you divide the 2 out, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So y equals 3. Okay, so now that I have y equals 3, the third step, which, sorry, Natalie apologizes. Okay, so the first step was to isolate x. The second step was to plug your answer into the other equation. Now that you've done that, you're going to plug the y value back into the equation you started with. So see, it's kind of like a circle. You start with one equation, the answer gets plugged into the second equation, and then your second answer gets plugged back into the equation you started with.
Circle of math.
I like to think of it as a circle. I would like to point out, though, you don't have to do the other one. I mean, if you wanted to plug the 3 into this one, it would still work. It just helps me think about it better when I'm sorry, I'm off the screen right now, when I think of it as a circle. So, over here, you're going to do 2 times, or no, sorry, no times, x plus 2, and since you know what y is, you can just plug that in, and that equals 10. So then 2x plus 6 equals 10. And then you're just trying to isolate the x again to solve for x. So you're going to subtract the 6 and 10 minus 6 equals 4. And then x, when you divide out 2, x is going to end up equaling 2. So your answers for this equation, or this system, is x equals 2 and y equals 3. And now Christine is going to do another example that's just slightly more complicated to make sure everyone understands what the process is, how to do it, and even deal with fractions on some occasions. Thank you.
Ooh, my hair.
Hi guys, now on to example B. First I'll just start off with like one of the equations. So I'll pick 6x plus 12y. So then I'll just subtract and I'll try to find x. So I'll subtract 12y from both sides. So it would end up being 6x equals 36 minus 12y. And then I'll divide by 6 on both sides so I can isolate the variable. So it would end up being x equals 6 minus 2y. Then you would go back and then you would substitute this for x in the first equation. So then you just multiply these. It would end up being 30 minus 10y minus 4y equals 23. Since you're subtracting two negatives, it would be the same as adding those two numbers. So it would be negative 14y instead of 6y. So it would be 30 plus, actually minus, 14y would equal 23. Now to get y by itself, you would subtract 30 from both sides. That would end up being negative 14y equals negative 7. So to get just y by itself, you would divide by negative 14. Then you end up with y equals 1/2. Then you would go back and plug it back into the original equation, the first one that you try to solve for. So now you plug what you got for y back into the first equation. So it would be 6x plus 12 times 1/2, which is 6, equals 36. So 6x plus 6 equals 36. Then you subtract 6 on both sides. Which ends up being 6x equals 30, and easily you'll know it's 5, but just divide 6 on both sides, then you'll get x equals 5. So your two answers are y equals 1/2 and x equals 5.
I can count on